single dad got fired for being late after helping a pregnant woman she owned the entire company hook. He was already on thin ice at work. One more late arrival, and he knew his job was gone. But when he saw a stranger collapsed on the sidewalk, clutching her belly, struggling to breathe, he didn't think twice. He knelt down beside her, held her hand, and stayed until help arrived. That decision cost him everything. Or so he thought. Because what happened next just 48 hours later would change his life in a way he never could have imagined. Subscribe. Invite. If stories like this one move your heart, you're in the right place. Here at Heartfelt Moments, we share true stories of kindness, courage, and the unexpected ways goodness finds its way back to us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and drop a comment below, telling us about a time someone's kindness changed your day. Now let's get into this incredible story. The story. Marcus Webb was a 34-year-old single dad living in Columbus, Ohio. Every morning, he woke up at 5:30, made breakfast for his 7-year-old daughter Lily, dropped her at school, and caught the 7:15 bus downtown. His routine was airtight. It had to be. Because Marcus was barely holding on. 18 months earlier, his wife had passed away from a sudden illness, leaving him to raise Lily alone. He had poured every ounce of grief and love into being the best father he could be. He picked up extra shifts at the distribution warehouse where he worked. He helped Lily with her homework every night. He read to her before bed, even on the nights when his own eyes could barely stay open. But the warehouse had a strict attendance policy. 3 late arrivals in a quarter meant termination. No exceptions, no excuses. Marcus had already used 2. One for a school emergency, one for a burst pipe that flooded his apartment. He had been warned, firmly and clearly. One more, and he was out. On a cold Tuesday morning in November, Marcus was right on schedule. He stepped off the bus at 7:48, which gave him exactly 12 minutes to walk 3 blocks and clock in. He was going to make it, and then he saw her. A woman, visibly pregnant, was sitting on the edge of the curb near the corner of 5th and Oak. She was leaning against a mailbox, her face pale, her breathing shallow. People walked by, glancing down and then away, assuming someone else would stop. But Marcus stopped. He crouched beside her. "Hey, I'm Marcus, are you okay?" She shook her head. She told him her name was Diana. She said she felt dizzy and was having sharp pains. She said she had tried to call her assistant but had dropped her phone and cracked the screen. Her voice was trembling. Marcus called 911 immediately. He stayed beside her, talking to her calmly, keeping her focused on his voice. He didn't know this woman. He had no reason to stay except a simple, unshakable human reason: because she needed someone, and he was there. The ambulance arrived 11 minutes later. By then, Marcus was 33 minutes late for work. He knew what that meant. He went in anyway. His supervisor, a man named Gary, was waiting for him near the entrance. The conversation was short and brutal. Marcus explained what had happened. Gary told him the policy was the policy. He handed Marcus a termination form and told him to clean out his locker. Marcus drove home in silence. He sat in his parked car outside his apartment for a long time before going inside. He thought about Lily, about rent, about the heating bill that was already past due. He pressed his forehead against the steering wheel and just breathed. That night, he told Lily a simplified version of what happened. She climbed into his lap, wrapped her arms around his neck, and said, "But Daddy, you helped someone. That's always the right thing." He held her tight and let himself cry, just a little. 2 days later, Marcus got a phone call from a number he didn't recognize. The woman on the other end introduced herself as Diana Calloway. She asked if he was the man who had helped her on 5th and Oak on Tuesday morning. He said yes. She paused, and then she said, "I want to thank you. Because of you, my daughter is here." She had been rushed to the hospital and delivered her baby 6 weeks early, but healthy and strong. The doctors had told her that if she had been left alone much longer, the outcome could have been very different. Marcus told her he was glad she was okay. He meant it completely, without any thought of what might come next. But Diana asked him one more question. "I heard you lost your job because you stopped to help me. Is that true?" He told her it was. He didn't say it with bitterness. It was simply the truth. There was a long pause on the line. And then Diana said, quietly but clearly, "Marcus, I am the CEO of Callaway Logistics. We have 14 distribution centers across the Midwest, and I would very much like you to come in for a meeting, not as a job applicant, but as someone I'd like to personally welcome to our team." It turned out the woman he had helped on that cold sidewalk was the founder and owner of one of the largest logistics companies in the region. She had been walking to a board meeting when she felt ill. She had seen hundreds of people pass by without stopping, except for one. Marcus started his new position 3 weeks later, a role in operations management with a salary nearly double what he had earned before. But more than the title or the paycheck, what stayed with him was something Diana said in their first meeting. She looked at him and said, "You didn't stop because you thought you'd get something. That's exactly why I wanted you here." Closing kindness rarely asks for a reason. It doesn't calculate the cost or weigh the reward. It just moves toward the person who needs it, at exactly the right moment. Marcus lost his job for 33 minutes of compassion, and in return, he found something far greater than a paycheck. He found proof that doing the right thing even when it's hard, even when it costs you, is never truly wasted. You never know who is sitting on that curb. You never know what a single act of kindness might set in motion. So slow down. Look up. Stop when someone needs you to stop. The world changes one small moment of goodness at a time. Thank you for watching Heartfelt Moments. If this story touched you, please share it with someone who needs a reminder that kindness still wins. See you in the next one.